Some days glad, some days more than make you mad. Some days more than shine. When you see what's coming on down the line. Some days you say, not me, never. Some days you say, bless God forever. Some days you say, curse God and die. And the day comes when you wrestle with that line. Some days tussle, and some days groan, and some days don't even leave a bone. Some days you hassle all alone. I don't know, sister, what I'm saying, nor to no man if he don't be praying. I know that love is the only answer, and the tightrope lover the only dancer. When the lover comes off the rope today, the net which holds him is how we pray, and not to gods unknown, but to each other. The falling mortal is our brother. Some days leave, some days grieve, some days you almost don't believe. Some days believe you, some days don't. Some days believe you, and you won't. Some days worry, some days mad, some days more than make you glad. Some days more than shine. Witnesses coming on down the line. Witnesses coming on down the line. us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
I pray we'll find your light
I pray we'll find your light
and hold it in our heart.
and hold it in our heart.
When stars go out each night,
When stars go out each night,
remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer.
let this be our prayer.
When shadows fill our day,
When shadows fill our day,
lead us to a place.
guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky.
We ask that life be kind
We ask that life be kind
and watch us from above.
and watch us from above.
We hope each soul will find.
We hope each soul will find
another soul to love.
another soul to love. Let this be our prayer. Let this be our prayer.
Just like every child.
Just like every child needs to find a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. Needs to find a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekol Zimra Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekol Zimra Zamru Adonai
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
As you can maybe see from the picture of the cantor and I, we're in different space in the sanctuary right now, because tonight is a special night. Tonight, we have our Shabbat Unplugged musicians. We've got Zach, we've got Ava, as you can see. Zach's way up by the bima. Ava's in another room entirely, and the cantor and I are spread out in the sanctuary. We thought it was important for us to bring back Shabbat Unplugged and the music that goes with and the sound that it brings to us and the meditations and the poetry that we feel at Unplugged, especially on this Shabbat after the election, because it's been a rough week. We've all been up late watching TV and watching the votes come in, and now it's time for us to take a break from all of that and to go inside and to look at ourselves and take a little pause from the rest of the week and bring ourselves into the poetry of Shabbat. And we'll do that first by singing Hine Matov. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. That part again. Zach, it's so great to have you here. Ava in the other room, it's so fantastic to have you with us. Let's get some light into Shabbat. Let us go now to the Gibson family, who is going to be celebrating a bat mitzvah.
Make sure your head stays there, okay?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for including us. We're going to light the candles. Eliza's going to light the candles. We'll say the prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahad lekner shel Shabbat.
As we move to Chazrat HaShavua, I'd like to welcome Rabbi Sarah Bassin.
Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, one of the greatest thinkers of the 20th century, is best known for two works, The Prophets and The Sabbath. Now, The Prophets is a work about our partnership with God in creating a more just society. It's all about transforming the world around us, this work that we need to do. The Sabbath is all about stepping back from that work. It's about dwelling in the mystery and the joy of creation, of existence, without focusing so much on the doing. And I think it's no mistake that the same author wrote both, recognizing that our lives actually have to balance being and doing. Because if we are only doing, then we will exhaust ourselves. And I don't know about you, but I think a lot of us have exhausted ourselves this week. We have focused so much energy on this election, of calculating out the math in advance, of wondering what would happen if he won this state but lost that one, of weighing how nervous we needed to be when the results came rolling in, and becoming our own pundits, weighing the importance of this demographic versus that one. It's been exhausting. So whether tonight you are mourning, whether you are celebrating, or whether you're still in an anxious space, I want us to lean in to Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel's advice and to take the Sabbath, to take Shabbat seriously, to realize the value of recognizing our limitations and being able to bend the world to our will. Not because it's impossible to shape the world, but because when that's all we do, we run ourselves out. We lose perspective when we fail to take stock of the world and of ourselves. So tonight, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take stock of how we're feeling, how we're reacting. Not to bury our heads in the sand, not to ignore the world outside, but to simply acknowledge our human need to recharge. Our tradition has given us a gift, not just the permission, but the imperative to stop, to step back and take stock, to check in with ourselves, to breathe, to be.
So let us now review our week, Chazarat HaShavua. We move now to Lechadodi with this melody that was written by Yehuda Poliker, who is an Israeli artist. This is called Transcontinental. There's no words to this. Well, there are now. Lechadodi. Lechadodi likrat kala, henei Shabbat. face the entrance as we welcome the Sabbath bride.
Shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvshola, tohevunei am shegula, boi chala, boi chala.
We've reached now the call to worship, the Baruch Hu. You may be seated. As we prepare for the Shema, let's just sing this nigun to bring our heartbeats down so that we can say these words with full intention. now. We move now to those words. We move now to those words. That doesn't sound right. There's the culprit. There we go. We move now to those words from Exodus. When the Israelites were free from the Egyptians, it's a song of freedom. But more than that, it's a song about the idea that there's none like God. We could think of what we'd like to think of, but we'll never get close to the actual understanding of how God works in the world. There's just so many wonders. There's so many amazing things that are in this world, and we give thanks for all of those. But most important right now is the idea that we all have freedom. We are free. And we sing together for that freedom. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah te'io, osei feleh, Norah te'io, osei feleh. You've got mi chamocha. One more time. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Before we sing Ufros Alenu, the prayer that we sing and feel as we go to sleep at night, it's been tough to sleep these last several nights. We don't know what the future of our country is right now, and it weighs heavily on all of us. We thought you might like to hear this story brought to you by Rabbi Bassin.
King Solomon was known to be our wisest ruler in our past, but He didn't attain his wisdom all on his own. He actually had a court of trusted advisors that he would consult to reach his wisest and most difficult decisions. Well, not surprisingly, this court took a lot of pride in its work in helping out the king. And King Solomon wanted to make sure that they didn't let their pride get the best of them. So one day, King Solomon invites his most trusted advisor, Benaniah, into his chambers and gives him a mission. He says, Benaniah, I have a mission for you. I want you to find me a magical ring that exists in the world, a ring that has the ability to make any person who wears it transform. If they are on high, it will bring them low. If they are low, it will bring them on high. I want you to bring me this ring so that I can have it in my possession. Well, Benaniah, not wanting to disappoint his king, set forth immediately. He searched the country high and low, and when he didn't find it in Israel, he set about to find it in the rest of the world, knowing that this magical ring had to be brought back to his king. But no matter where he went, no matter how far he looked, he kept coming up empty-handed. And soon enough, he had to finally admit defeat. Well, on his way home, as he was just about to enter into Jerusalem, go to the king and admit his failure, he walked into a jeweler's shop on the edge of town just to get a cup of tea before he went to see the king. And he sat down, defeated. The jeweler, of course, asked him, why are you so upset? Where have you been? What's wrong? And Benaniah told the jeweler the whole story about how he was setting forth for this magical ring. The jeweler sat for a second. He thought, hold on. And he picked up his oldest, dustiest silver ring, polished it up, and engraved something on it, handed it to Benaniah and said, here, this is your magic ring. Well, Benaniah went straight to the king, and on the eve of Sukkot, handed the king this ring. The king, King Solomon, he looked at the ring, and he nodded, and he said, you have found this magic ring. And he held it up, he read the inside of it, and the engraving read, Gamzeh Ya'avor. Gamzeh Ya'avor. Something that has the ability to bring a person on high down low and a person on low up high. Gamzeh Ya'avor. This too shall pass. And from that day on, King Solomon wore that ring as a reminder. Gamzeh Ya'avor. This too shall pass.
Gamzeh Ya'avor. Whatever you're feeling in the evening as you go to sleep, Gamzeh Ya'avor. Tomorrow's always another day. Actually, there is a teaching in mindfulness that says every breath is an opportunity for new life, new thoughts. So as we sing Ufros Alenu Sukat Shlomecha, we ask that there be a shelter of peace that comes over us tonight, so that we can live our lives like that ring, or just realize that that's true. Gamzeh Ya'avor.
Shlomecha
Sukkot Shlomecha Ufos Alenu Sukkot Shlomecha. We take time now for our personal, private prayers. And we sing just the first line of the Amidah together. And then we'll continue silently to find those prayers that are deep in your heart. Prayers specifically for this evening and for you. So we'll rise together and we'll ask that the thoughts and feelings in our heart, that they're able to come out and reach our mouth and come out in words and thoughts and ideas that can help us for the next week. If you'd like to rise where you are, you may. As we move to those other private prayers, those prayers that you have in your hearts for those who are ill, you can start writing names in the chats of YouTube and Facebook. And between the first and second verse, we'll read those names so we can gather together as a community and pray on behalf of all those who are ill and in need of healing.
Paula Gelbert Romy, Steffi Gelbert, Helene and Andy Hale, Lois Lebman, Rita Newman, Baby Raquel, Angel and Chris Angelo, Anna and Maribel and family, Elizabeth Goldman, Jacob Arujo, Warren Roston, Andrew Levy, Harold Sauer, Bobby Herman, Steffi Gelbert, United States of America, Mordechai Avram ben Yitzhak Yosef Verachel, Taylor Mobley, Margie Mobley, Mobley family, Mimi Feldman, Arun Kant, Laura Heist-Hoon, Rabbi Samford Axelrod. Julie Malloy, Darlene Keefe, Sandy Fleming, Dennis Lavender and Joe Pogani, Judy Solomon, Ike Silverheart, Denise Wall, Dan Weston, Leo Lithgow, Holly Lazzarini, Kate Canoris, Rhonda Fontes, Carol Leonard, and Valerie Bushmeyer. Marlene Wasserman, Jill Adler-Moore, Ethel Zvitosky, Harab Yisrael Gadal Ben Batya, Susie Gordon, Lucy Ablesser, Deanna Ablesser, Jim McGuire, Myra Gassman, Jeanette Fuentes, Riho Romero.
Shabbat Shalom this evening. The Torah portion this week is very, very near and dear to my heart because it's my bar mitzvah portion. Don't I look like a bar mitzvah boy? Not quite. It is Vayera, and in it, Abraham is seen from three distinctive points of view. In the first view, we see Abraham as a welcoming and hospitable neighbor when three strangers come to his tent 3 days after he circumcised himself as he was healing in front of his tent. These three strangers come by, and he's welcoming and he's hospitable to them. At the end of the Parsha, we read one of the most famous stories in all of the Torah, the Akedah, that moment and view of Abraham that is a little darker when he's asked to sacrifice his son Isaac on Mount Moriah, and he agrees to it easily. In that view, he is thought of as one who has so much faith in God that he's willing to carry out the order to sacrifice his own son to show that faith. In between, we have the part that I actually did read on my bar mitzvah more than 45 years ago. Sodom and Gomorrah, two communities who were so bereft of ethical behavior that God was intent on destroying them. He says to Abraham, quote, "Because great is the outcry of Sodom and Gomorrah, and because weighty indeed is their sin, I shall go down and see whether they have done entirely in accordance with its outcry that has come to me. If not, I will know." That's from Genesis 18, verses 20 and 21. The outcry that God is speaking of, according to Midrash Rabbah, which is a collection of writings and interpretations from the 3rd century, was because of one incident. Here's what's written in Midrash Rabbah. There was an incident concerning two young girls who went down to fill pitchers of water from the spring. One of them said to her friend, "Why is your face so sickly?" And the other said, "Our food is all gone, and we are about to die." What did the first one do? She filled her pitcher with flour and switched the two, each girl taking what was in the hand of the other. When the people of Sodom became aware of this, they took her and they burned her. God then says, even if I wanted to keep silent, the judgment in the case of the young girl does not permit me to keep silent. And that's the end of the Midrash. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah punish a young girl with death because she helped a vulnerable, poor, hungry, sick girl. Her cry was filled with the pain of her death, the injustice of her sentence, and the system that allows such a sentence to happen. God's reaction is completely emotional, and God sets out to destroy the two towns until he tells Abraham about it. Abraham, sensing that perhaps God is acting just like the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, asks, "Shall not the judge of all the earth do justly?" Like, how can you kill them all because some of them acted that way? And Abraham begins to bargain with God. He says, what if there's 50 righteous people in the city? Are you going to destroy those righteous because of those sinners? And then when he sees that God agrees that God will not destroy the city on those 50, Moses then says, okay, so what if there's 5 less than that, 5 missing from the 50? What if there's 45? Would you do it? God says no. And Abraham continues, what if there's 40? What if there's 30? What if there's 20? And then finally, what if there are 10 righteous people in the town, which, by the way, forms a community? God agrees, I will not destroy the city on account of 10 righteous people. And then God leaves Abraham's presence. Abraham can't find 10. The city is destroyed. Rabbi Helen Plotkin writes this about why Abraham couldn't even find 10 righteous people. Quote, "It suggests that a society whose communal values are corrupt, it eventually becomes impossible for individuals to live ethical lives. Ethics and morality are not only attributes of individual people. Ethics exist or do not exist in a community. Whether individual people are good or bad, it is the collective values of the community that make ethical life possible." While I find her argument compelling, it leaves me a little bit empty because I don't believe that it's an either-or preposition. Communities can lean towards ethical or non-ethical behavior. But within those communities, I need to embrace Abraham's approach that in every community there are those who will do good, the 10 righteous. That's why we're here, Temple Emmanuel. That's why you are in this service, to be better people, ethical people, to care more for others, to love your neighbor as yourself, to help the stranger and the widow and the orphan and the refugee and your family and your friends and you yourself, to give yourself to the betterment of others. That's why we gather in a synagogue community, minimum 10. We are the 10, or the 50, or the 100, or the 600 that will act towards goodness in the world. God would have found us because we are here. And not just us, but every person who seeks goodness. All people who believe that each human life is worthy, every soul who pursues peace and harmony in the world, they are all with us. Let us be a part of the 10 righteous who embrace all with an open heart, who judge fairly and show compassion. Let us live our lives on the side of justice and fairness and goodness so that our society, our community, our place, our city is a place where ethics and morality are embedded in the hearts of every individual. Be a part of that 10. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be God's will, and Shabbat Shalom. As we move on in our service, we first begin with Alenu, and then we will move to Kaddish. If you'd like to start writing the names of your loved ones who you remember on this Shabbat, you may do so in the chats, so that when we arrive at Kaddish, we can say those names in memory of those that you love. For now, please rise for Alenu. We begin with 2 words, Ein Od, without end. One of the names in Kabbalah for God. And we just do this as a meditation. If you'd like to close your eyes and just allow the sound to come out of you, that's what this part's for.
לשבח, לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינה תוזו בגוב ומרמים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הוא אלוהינו אין
We turn now to Kaddish. In a moment, there'll be names that'll come up on the screen. Those names are members of our community who have died at this season in years past. We especially remember those families who are in the midst of Shloshim, the first 30 days after the death of a loved one. Lawrence Lerner's family and Tess Gumbiner's family. And we also recall Harold Friedman. Added to those names are those of your family and friends that you've listed in the chat, which we'll read now.
Bess Lurie, Arthur Cohen, Mike Hughes, Ian Hughes Wilson, Rebecca Robinson, Jack Scher, Reuben Bird, the father of Rob and Gail, Gail Roski, Lisa Tudskin, Marion Rothman, Lottie Bigelson of blessed memory, Sharon Green, Eddie Mombino, Maxine Klein.
All of those names that we mentioned are in our hearts this evening. We also say Kaddish Yatom for those who have known to say it for them. We say it for those who were lost in the Holocaust. We say it for all those that have died from COVID-19. And we say it for those that have been killed in the violence of recent times, as we join together as a community to say Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayachon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei olmaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yithalal, Shemei d'Kudusha, b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom limromav, huyaseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen.
Amen. May the one who causes peace on high cause peace to reign on earth between all people. And we say,
Amen.
Amen. Well, it's nice to have the cantor back. She was away for a couple of weeks on well-deserved vacation, and she actually came back a little early just to do Shabbat Unplugged. So,
I did.
how was that? Was that good to be back?
I needed Shabbat Unplugged as much as it needed me now. But I have, this is the longest I've been away from the news in 5 days. So yes, it feels good to be back.
It feels good. We need this time to kind of get away from everything and bring ourselves into humanity, really.
We do.
But let's thank Zach. Can we show Zach for a sec there? There they all are. There's Zach and Ava. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you, Ava. You guys are amazing, and I'm sorry that we can't be closer and we can't feel each other. But this is what music's about. Music can bring people together, even if they're in separate rooms or even if they're far from each other. It's the sound and the vibrations that are between us. So we're so happy that we were able to do this, and I think we'll do it again, eh?
I think it worked. You guys will have to let us know.
Yeah,
but,
you can let us know how that was. And I would like to thank Daniel for doing an amazing job of some extra cameras. There's some extra stuff here tonight. And as always, Daniel is in the back of the room taking care of the technical aspects of what happens. There were some ads that you saw beforehand. Rabbi Lutz's class is starting up. Rabbi Bassin has a class tomorrow, but that one you've had to sign up. You got to sign up for that one if you want to be in
2 o'clock tomorrow is Rabbi Bassin's book club. I think you probably should have read the book too. So
I think you have to have read the book. I don't think you can join.
Look
there.
at this.
Whoa!
Wow.
See, but you have to have read the book and signed up beforehand. For Adam Lutz's class, which will be coming up, I believe it's on the 10th. You can still sign up for that. And we'll be here next week. Is there anything special going on next week, Cantor?
It is our first Shabbat Spark next week. And we, this past spring, had put together a lot of music videos. So we're going to show some again, but then debut a couple new ones. So we look forward to highlighting some of our religious school students. And
we're just trying different things as we go forward. But most important is thank you for joining us tonight, because without you, it would be just us kind of doing this, and it would go on deaf ears. So we thank you for being with us, and hopefully this evening brought you some break from what's going on in the world right now.
They say it worked, and one more time.
One more time. Let's do the whole thing.
The good news is you can replay the whole service as many times as you want.
Actually, you can. You can put it on at 8 o'clock tonight if you want to watch it again. Are we ready, Zach? We're going to end with what we traditionally end our Shabbat Unplugged with, Adon Olam. We're seated. We're going to stay seated, I think, so that Daniel doesn't have to adjust everything. Again. Here we go.
Adon Olam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Have a beautiful evening.